Vishal Monga is also joining us live from Sydney in Australia. Vishal, Salvatore was mentioning about how the Indian diaspora is absolutely excited about giving a rousing welcome to the Prime Minister when he is in Australia. Truly, the charisma of the Prime Minister is resonating overseas. We've seen that in multiple events abroad, like Gaurav was mentioning at the Madison Square Gardens as well, and this seems to be no different.
Yes, indeed. What I can tell you is that right now I'm standing outside Shangri-La Hotel, and what I can say that few minutes from now, Prime Minister Modi would be arriving here. But what's more important is the Indian diaspora. A lot of people have gathered here, and it is expected that 20,000 and plus people would be there in Sydney Olympic Stadium. That's very important because large number of Indian diaspora people are trying to welcome Prime Minister Narendra Modi. They want to see him at the stadium, and this event is happening after a lot of time. Earlier, when Prime Minister Narendra Modi came in, then there was different environment. But now, once he's coming in, he's been victorious for 2 terms, and also there has been a very good relationship between Australia and India. India and Australia have become strategic partner. It was earlier Australia and China. Now, Australia's priority is towards India, because they want to replace China and they want to sell their products in India. The free trade agreement and also the people-to-people contact, the cultural contacts, Indians being the largest number of community overtaking the Chinese, that is very important here. And the large number of Indians really coming in, Indian students, Indian diaspora people who have done very good.
Salvatore is also on this broadcast with us. Salvatore, you were bringing us so many details, so much perspective as far as the Prime Minister's visit is concerned. Salvatore, can you hear me?
Sorry, the police are on to me.
That's fine.
Could you repeat the question? I've been asked
No, I just asked you whether you could hear me. So my question here is that you're still with us at the moment, and there seems to be a lot of excitement to have the Prime Minister there in Australia. Have you seen this kind of a popularity being enjoyed by any other world leader at a global platform? I mean, I could be wrong, but even the President of the United States of America probably does not enjoy this kind of popularity.
No. Other people don't visit Australia and have stadium receptions. It just doesn't happen. And that's all down to the Indian diaspora who've self-organized it. Remember, the stadium reception is not being organized from India. It's being organized right here in Australia. I actually have an article coming out in tomorrow's Australian Financial Review talking about the fact that Anthony Albanese's largest stadium he's ever appeared in probably was that Gujarat, the Modi Stadium in Gujarat was his biggest political rally, and this rally here for Narendra Modi tomorrow, my guess is that this is the largest political rally that's been held in Australia since Mr. Modi's last visit 9 years ago. This is just not what happens, not only when foreigners visit Australia, when Australian politicians visit Australia, they don't have rallies of this size. This is very much a Modi event.
Very interesting. But as far as India is concerned, how do you see both the nations, India and Australia, both benefit from the talk that the two leaders of both these nations end up having strategically going forward?
Well, the trade relationship is going to flourish regardless of any talks, because there's a desire on both sides, and especially desire by investors on both sides to be involved in each other's countries. So that's going to go forward no matter what the leaders do. Really, the most important thing the leaders could probably change is the security relationship. Right now, the security relationship between Australia and India is entirely mediated by the United States. The U.S. calls the shots with Australia's foreign policy. Let's face it, Australians don't want to hear it. Maybe Americans don't want to hear it, but it's simply true. Now, there is the possibility for Mr. Modi and Mr. Albanese to agree something independent, that is to work independently in the Indian Ocean, not necessarily under a U.S. umbrella, but in a bilateral way. And I think if anything were to come out of this visit, that would be the biggest possible news we could see, would be some kind of Indian Ocean security deal. The trade relationship is going to flourish anyway, but the security relationship depends on real leadership from both sides.
All right, Salvatore, thank you for joining us on this broadcast. We'll get you all the details from Sydney in Australia in moments from now, and Perspective 2 with Salvatore, who is on this broadcast with us. For the moment, thanks, Salvatore.